Digimarcon. We are here ready to go. We've already seen some incredible speeches, incredible talks, and we've got our exhibition happening and it is buzzing out there, which is absolutely wonderful to see. And I'm Sarah Kassam, take over from Bright Orange Door once again, and I'm joined again by my wonderful colleagues Alice and Amy. We are just absolutely lapping this experience up, and it's wonderful to be able to speak to you and interview some incredible people. And I am pretty lucky because I'm joined today by Gunnar Habets, and he's not just anyone, he's the MC. This guy's the MC of this incredible day. So a massive welcome.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you here and ask you all of the questions, because I unfortunately missed out on your talk yesterday that you also delivered. But I'm really looking forward to hearing a little bit about what you spoke about and why it's important in the marketing world.
Happy to share you all about that, and you picked a good spot in between me announcing some other speakers, so that's very good.
Yeah,
that's the part that I really like on this conference. It's quite professional.
Yeah, well, thank you. It is wonderful. Now, before we get started, I know if you watched and you have been watching the live videos here, we had an author here just before we wrapped up our lives. Now, this afternoon now, we actually have another author. It's this guy. Now, how many books have you actually written?
So I published 28 books.
28 books. 28 books. That is an absolute feat. Can you tell us about what it is that you write about and what have you got coming up?
So I started by working as a tour guide during university, and back then the books were not necessarily good. Think about Lonely Planet, but as I come from German-speaking background, so then the books over there were not as I wanted to have them. I started to correct, and then later I had the pleasure of writing books, a time when travelers would have a book and walk through this when you didn't have everything on the phone. So therefore I had many of them about some European countries, like my home in Switzerland, but I also covered Austria, Germany, Czech Republic, actually quite a lot, and some books about European travel. So that got me to 20 books.
Wow.
2 books about hotels. There's also nice historic hotels in Europe.
Oh.
All these classic grand hotels in the Swiss mountains, for example, which is great. And in the meantime, I published 2 books about LinkedIn, because I came from professional social media, working at Hootsuite before. So there were 2 about that one, and recently I wrote a book looking about my last name, which is Habit. So habit is a word in English that means something, so I wrote a book called Happy Habits, and that's the one that I launched just now.
Here's another launch, and I'm just so I'm so proud of you, because that is such a big feat. Not only the 28, but then to pivot and to write about something that is so applicable to everyone in marketing. Anyone in business, just anyone who's ready to take those next steps. So can you tell us a little bit about this new book?
Yeah, happy to do.
Yeah.
I can actually even showcase Happy Habits. It says, feel better, focus better, live better, one habit at a time. And I came on the idea by reading a book called Discipline by an American author called J.R. Heimbigner on Easter Saturday at a bench on Fuji Beach, so very relaxing atmosphere. And he promotes the idea of mini books, not too long, but one topic very well, because these books are read compared to the very large ones, which are textbooks or reference books. And when it's called Discipline, and I have a background from Switzerland and this German-speaking culture of you do things on time and you get the discipline in doing this, I thought, okay, when it's called Discipline, it's a sign to write my own book about habits, because it's my last name. And apparently to get something into a habit from starting an activity, think about posting on social media every day or sending newsletter campaigns really to hit them every month or ensure to do it. It is a muscle we need to have. But often people they don't get started and then they don't continue. So there's one thing what I learned, if you start slowly and stop quickly, you don't achieve anything. And that's what I covered in that book. I put it into 4 topics. I start with pause because sometimes in order to make a change in our life or in our business, then sometimes we need to have an external trigger. And that in work can be anything, like as an employee, you sit in between a merger and acquisition type of situation where you don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, in my case, it was a layoff. For other cases, it will be whatever the business holds. You get, as a copywriter, there's one famous copywriter in Sydney, Leanne Shelton, and she realized, oh, there's ChatGPT. People don't need me anymore. And her business went down. And this pause told her that she needs to pivot and do something different. She's now a global AI trainer. So this type of pause moment sometimes makes you think and reflect to do differently. Then you need to plan and reflect on what actually you want to change, and then you need to put into practice. And I said for my book, I wanted to write this within 42 days, my favorite number, which is 7 weeks. And I finished it on time.
It's amazing.
And then the last part is partner, because I can't just do something for myself, but you know yourself, when you go to the gym every day, okay, then you do, but what about to share? And so working at Active Campaign, we had that in June, where our sales director thought there's a charity who has an activity in month of June. If we do like a fundraising activity, if you do sportive activities like running or walking, to give a certain number, then we can also raise funds. And some of us have done that in the team. And for me, it was like 100 kilometers of walking. I can commit to that.
Is that all? Yeah.
Most of my colleagues, they had a very big hockey stick at the end to say, I now need to do 20 kilometers on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I took the discipline approach every day, 3 kilometers, and I hit it. So this type of approach has accountability, therefore partnership is important. And working as a partnership manager at Active Campaign, I've never ever seen the word partnership associated with habits. And that's what I add to it.
It's a really interesting way to look at it as well. I think going back to that pause moment as well, if we go all the way back to that moment where you start to acknowledge the fact that you need that pause, it's then understanding as well what you need to do in order to change, or what it is that you need to change in order to get what you want, right? So what about that time? What should you be really looking inward at in terms of what you need to change?
So my tip would be to take the sentence, I'm wearing too many hats, literally. To say, okay, now I take the hat on of the person who observes me, of my teammate, of the club member who knows me, and really figure out who am I, what they think about me, where's anything that I can contribute to the greater good or to my ecosystem around me, and then depending how hard the pause is, then of course it means, in my case when I had faced a layoff, I thought, okay, after 16 years, what should I do? And I decided to take a sabbatical to go down under.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for staying. That's absolutely amazing. But this is the thing, I think it's that point, and even throughout life, we do hit those points where we're forced to take that pause. So say you may be a job change, or maybe a time of life change, maybe you're retiring, maybe you're coming back out of maternity leave or something along those lines, and you're forced to take that break. What should you do in those situations where, like yourself, you faced the layoff, you did what you needed to do, but what's the first step? Because I do see businesses and business owners come to me and they find themselves in a bit of a rut. They feel like they're stuck, or their self-worth might go down from that aspect. What can we do to ensure that we don't fall down that rabbit hole and actually do the work to start moving forward, to plan?
First, we all should acknowledge that majority of people on the planet, they have this pause every year. On 1st of January, to make New Year resolutions.
It's true.
They always fail, or most of them, because they don't take this pause properly. So in my case, what I've done, I took a break. I wanted to calm down, clean down, and then reflect more on it, observe more, because typically in work-related scenarios, when you are blind and you do the same of the same, you're not open to change. You're not open to observe others, what they do, how maybe life also changes. When you're long in your job, outside it's different. When you work in a large company and you realize actually your skill set could work also in a smaller organization, which skill sets are they? Did you ever present it this way?
Yeah.
So the way of what I thought is to say, move yourself to another place. It could be even another cafe where you normally don't go. It can be another beach where you normally don't hang out. Whatever it is, but physically you put yourself into another situation and then reflect on it and figure out not necessarily where you want to go to, but first about taking inventory of what you have, what you're doing, what potentially might resonate well. Talk to others.
Yes.
Think more as giving than taking. Don't ask others, hey, I need to have a job, can I do something else? But rather reflect on challenges that others have, and then come down and write this all down and say, okay, that's actually something I've done well, but without the pause moment, I'm not forced to do it. So the key question, how can I come to the point without the pause moment, externally triggered? So many people do this, also in business, that sometimes they take a time off, a weekend, go somewhere for the purpose of reflection and redirection. But that is what you need to have by yourself, to say, I now take this pause, because otherwise you run into, before it gets into a negative external.
That's right. It's the positive, it's looking at things from that positive perspective, which sometimes can be tricky, but if we're conscious about that, it does help that process along. So that's very valuable advice, and I'm so glad we were able to share that as well with this audience, because it's so important. At every stage in work, in life, this book could be almost like a blueprint to making things really work for you in your situation, whatever that might look like out there in Digimarcon land here. So that's absolutely wonderful. So how do we actually, how do we purchase your book? Where do we need to go?
So the book, Happy Habits, is on Amazon.
Amazon,
as a Kindle version, as a paperback version, will be on bookstores later. Barnes & Noble in the US already has it. But there's also a signed copy that can be ordered from the author as well. So
hear that? You can get a signed copy.
So, Happy Habits, but I write my URL with a Z at the end, happyhabits.com, and then simply put there, and then there's a possibility for that one. Yeah,
that's great.
It's an interesting way to give further, because I learned from living in 5 countries quite a lot about disruption in life, and then to reinvent and how to make that happen. So that the idea of pausing first before then planning the next action, but then take many steps, and sometimes you cannot really do a lot. You would like to, but sometimes life comes in the way. So therefore, my tips of the book would be, on one side, to say, I commit to daily action. When the daily action includes something, in my case, writing. Okay, if I want to write 2 pages a day, and I come back home from big work, like at a conference here, and I can't do it, but I still do the habit of opening, getting into a document and write something, maybe not useful, but at least something, that I keep the muscle of doing the regular activity, like we're all brushing our teeth. So then, despite we're not maybe in the mood of, but of course we do it. And the other thing that I talked there is about habit stacking. So when you say you would like to do something, but maybe, I need to do. But if you do something anywhere already, and you just add something to it, so that would be a good idea. So when you, for example, and that's a personal one, when my wife and I, we travel somewhere, she always we pack the luggage before we leave the house. She always sits for the moment and thinks about something that never tells me. But it's always related to the trip. So it's part of that. It's a habit stacking.
Yeah.
But otherwise you would forget.
Yes.
Or typical thing, you leave the house, make sure that you have all rings and everything on you. There's a way how you can stack things. So I can do it also in business life to ensure that I do the right thing. So when, for example, I'm working with my clients, have everything in the CRM to make sure, see the report, click on the button, whatever this type of thing is that I now should be attached to it. Even when I don't need the outcome every day, but at least to ensure I do it. And that's the habit stacking, then something becomes so easy. And the example I showed in the book in my launch was my father, who used to write critics about opera in Vienna. I met him every year over there. And he always says, the opera is not finished before having the schnitzel afterwards. Habit stacking with the schnitzel.
Yes, that's
even at 10:30
it's incredible. That's the done thing. That's the thing, isn't it? That's incredible. And I feel like, you know, when we came out of that 2020 period, I won't say any more about that, but when we came out of that, we were so attuned to the pivot that it's almost like we started to go backwards with making the excuse that everything's always changing, and you know, no one has a real schedule anymore as to what used to be prior to that time of history. Now's the time to really consciously be aware of those habits, right?
Consciously be aware of, observe yourself. Sometimes observe yourself from the outside world. See what you are regularly doing.
Yeah. That's it. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, there is one thing that I did miss in your talk yesterday, and I was a little bit, you know, upset about it because I didn't get to see it firsthand. But I'm hoping that you might be able to explain to me a little bit more and to our wonderful audience here about MEO.
Yes. There's one term that we all know called SEO, search engine optimization, and this has been quite challenged on this conference because this big part of digital marketing is, of course, that we who have something to sell, our services or products, we are discovered, and therefore we go to Google. But in the meantime, there's a lot about search which goes on AI. So therefore we talked about GEO, which stands for Generative Engine Optimization, to be able to be featured and recited out of what AI can find. But I thought there is actually a totally underrated search engine on the planet that nobody talks about. I call this principle MEO. I wrote on LinkedIn twice, 3 times over the last couple of months. MEO stands for Message Engine Optimization. Good example, at Digimarcon last year in Sydney, I met Adrian Falk, who is currently delivering a masterclass, lunch and learn over there. And then I saw him on the agenda this year as well. I looked on LinkedIn, I wanted to connect with him. Then I realized, oh, hang on, I already did. Why do I know him? And then I recognized there was this message. Hi, Adrian, I watched your presentation of Digimarcon. You talked about this, and you even wrote a book. I placed 2, if not 3 hooks in there. And then he responded, but he didn't do anything of it. But at least it's there. So message engine optimization is my approach to say, like in SEO, you plant something so that it gets listed on Google. If I plant something in a connection, like between you and me, that, hi Sarah, it would be nice to connect with you because we had the lovely podcast recording here during Digimarcon in Sydney. I might remember this for life, but not the name. So how can I search for that? Not on ChatGPT and not on Google, but in LinkedIn messaging, if I plant this, I can search for Digimarcon, Sydney, podcast.
Yes.
Then our dialogue would come up.
That's right.
If I start to edit first, but that requires that if I connect with someone, I take the time to write a message, what most don't do, and I cannot stand in front of you and connect and write a personal message and don't look in your eyes. That's not friendly.
Well, no, yes.
So therefore, I would do it after the conference, not during the conference, because it's so much noise around it. 48 hours after, everyone remembers. That's good. And then I can put in a dialogue. If you would connect with me, I would accept it because at the moment I know it, but then I need to do something. 48 hours after, not even 24, then I say, hey, great that we met and we had this lovely recording at the podcast studio of Digimarcon, and then we can come into a dialogue. So I need to plant first. Therefore, I call it message engine optimization.
Yeah.
Particular, many people remember situations, they remember visuals, the way how the floors look like or the wall behind. They might remember even what they smelled. But you cannot search for a face or a feeling.
That's right.
So you need to plant it, and that's MEO on LinkedIn. Too easy.
Fascinating. And it's something that we do in networking in business and especially conferences, because you're meeting so many people.
Therefore, I created a custom GPT actually for that one.
Ooh, okay.
I call it Connect GPT because I wrote a LinkedIn book called Connect and Act.
Wow.
And therefore, Connect GPT does exactly this. You get on that, It's within the public visible custom
amazing.
GPTs. You have 4 options to start a conversation with. Typically, you met someone.
Yeah.
The other one, and want to connect on LinkedIn. The other one would be somebody connected you, so
Wow.
what to do.
Yeah.
And Substack is also on it. There's 4 situations. And the first situation, I would simply, it asks me, okay, what is the profile of the person you met? Yours.
Yes.
What's yours? Mine. After a while, it knows me. What's the occasion? Digimarcon, Sydney. And then it crafts a longer and a shorter connection request, a little bit based on also what the profile says.
Wow.
It finds out something like, hey, we met at Digimarcon,
Yeah.
but it would know that we both are in Digimarketing.
Yes.
So that is going
Wow.
away from templates that look like templates into something better.
That's
It is
incredible.
I have a bit.ly link, bit.ly/connect GPT in one word.
Okay, great. You heard that here. That's incredible. What an incredible tool. I had no idea that you.
Need to write more often on LinkedIn.
Yes. Now I'm following you on LinkedIn, so I'll expect my message. And also, I'll be checking out this tool because that is incredibly handy for anyone who's out there networking for their business. And just in life in general, right? You know, when you meet amazing people, you want to remember them. And in a conference environment, it's very easy to meet someone, have a connection with them at the time, and then it just falls away because you haven't been able to manage to keep that up. So that is absolutely incredible. What else did you get talking about yesterday that I missed?
So yesterday, what you actually missed was my talk about agentic AI, and that takes the generative AI, which are the little helping tools like ChatGPT or even Canva and all of this, or all of the tools which help in transcribing meetings, to take this in the proper marketing approach. If I would create a campaign and automation for my clients, that is not me doing this anymore, but is outsourced into AI agents who are fully connected within the same platform. So working at Active Campaign, we have that. We call that approach Active Intelligence, where I have a conversational field to type in, like you type in ChatGPT. And I said, hey, my next club meeting is ongoing. Can you please create the same campaign as I've done in June and in April, because now it's August.
Yeah.
And then it creates the campaign, it creates the automation that comes afterwards, it connects the right people on it. I only need to maybe upload a new photo or something like this. And it is such a shortcut. So we always triggered in marketing where we have more and more noise and pressure and we need to deliver more with less. I said yesterday, we can do more with more. So this means we let the machine do what the machine can do. We keep humans as the one who approve and ensure that the right thing to do. But particular AI is so keen these days to suggest the next steps. And I need to know myself what that would be, but it's a good reminder. I can also do this. Okay, and then the results, I get faster to a better result that I want to have. And when I say more with more, it means it leaves me more time for creativity.
Yes.
Because that is what is lost. I asked during my presentation 3 times, when did you last time post on LinkedIn? And most marketers said, yes, for my client, not for themselves.
Yes, yeah.
We are not writing content anymore.
Yes.
With the agentic AI approach of generative typing, we are now typing again. So kind of we get into our creative ways again instead of being just in clicking buttons.
Yes, and I had this conversation with someone yesterday also. We are creatives, whether we're looking at the data from that perspective, we're still looking for solutions and we're still using our creative brain. So to lean back into that space where we're able to give ourselves the time to be creative, it's a big thing for productivity and for general well-being in the workplace as well. It's a bigger picture thing. To be able to have that extra time to start facilitating what you actually like to do about your job.
The good thing is AI can help you to give you hints, and there you can add then the human creativity to it. And we know at the beginning when I would do images in Mid-Journey, then there could come out a man with 6 fingers and all of this one. In the meantime, that got so much better, but I don't need to grab things from here and there. I can do it within the same platform. My favorite is Active Campaign.
Yep.
And inside of this, the whole flow is all done. And I type it in a way, I don't need to go in the regular way of the campaign builder, automation builder, which are awesome for those who know. But otherwise, it's such a more playful way that it's more pleasure of doing this. And then
Yes.
for me, what also comes at the end, we would like to get a result. And I can, of course, ask, hey, how did my campaign come? It says, hang on, you're good against industry standards, but your list are members of a club. They're not outside public. Actually, therefore, you are below standards. I suggest you tweak here and here and add more personalization to it. I said, oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I want. It should tell me and suggest me things which otherwise I would not be able to do. As a client of technology, I would say I can ask an agency for doing this. But as the one in the agency of doing the work, I'm grateful that a tool can help me.
Well,
and I deliver the better outcome for my client.
That's it. The optimization, it just elevates. I know that's a very AI term these days, but it does elevate the level of optimization that you're able to deliver, which everyone's happy.
Yes, and that was the speech that I had yesterday.
I'm just so sad that I missed it.
That the way of take AI from generate things into doing things.
Yeah.
That reminds me on when I came from Europe, where I worked in Germany for a while, drove 70,000 kilometers per year in the car.
That's a lot.
Manual car, so strong arm.
Yeah.
In Australia, would be strong on the left-hand side. But then in Switzerland, we would have automated. So why should I bother? I can better outsource. And that's the thing. I can do things by myself, but when AI can do some parts with maybe less mistakes, but automated better, then I can concentrate what I can do as a human. To then reflect on things and say, oh, I don't approve this, or maybe, hey AI, I need to get you more context that I can tell you how it should look like.
Yeah.
But it's amazing what you can do when you just start with the new clients, you get them the AI brand kit, where then you would say, okay, that's their colors, that's their logos, everything that it looks on par, how it should be, and everything that comes out straight away is already proper. So imagine I would do this with Digimarcon. We all know the colors that they have, a lot about white and orange and more colors to it. So if I would use this inside of Active Campaign, then it would immediately start creating a campaign for that looks proper, that the landing pages go on one flow that is approvable.
It's amazing. I really wish I saw that talk.
There are recordings.
Well, I'm going to have to watch those recordings, I think, because you blow me away, to be honest. Now, you're the MC, and you love to talk. I love to talk too. But Digimarcon, what has been your highlight of being MC for Digimarcon?
So first of all, it was an honor to be asked to be the MC for Sydney, and I do also Melbourne next week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's good.
That's awesome.
I attended Digimarcon normally as a participant some time ago and know of the conference for quite a while. And it exists in 56 cities across the world, mainly in the US. Europe is coming. We get Singapore soon. Hawaii is on. It's kind of follow the sun approach around the globe. So it's this real massive brand, and it's an honor to be the MC for this one. That means I need to be really on the pulse of what's going on. I talk to the exhibitors in the Techspo area.
Yeah.
I draw people into that area so that they also have a look at the podcast studio. There's a social media booth, and there's even TAFE, where people go for vocational education. And I didn't know even that you can learn digital marketing there.
Yes, you absolutely can.
I feel as an MC, it's more, I need to more bring people also together, and I like that part. So that's really good to hear about what's their view, to ensure that we can get the right questions on it. We have these little boxes that I can throw in, which is taking a microphone, that somebody who wants to speak also get heard properly.
Oh, beautiful.
Get heard from hearing, not heard by throwing.
Yes. But I mean, yeah,
If
probably the
so
that one.
that's the part that I like, and leading a conference to ensure that the speakers are announced in a proper way, that because at the stage they deserve the applause if they do this well.
Yes.
But it starts from me paying attention, knowing who they are, how to pronounce their name.
That's right.
That's a big starting
It's a big
point.
one.
Yeah, so that they feel welcome at stage, because my job is technically to give them a fantastic start
Yes.
and the attention of the audience. And that's the most important thing.
Yes, it is so important. And you have to, I know as an MC, you have to be watching everything. You have to have eyes on the back of your head to ensure that you're very aware of how things are running. And
there's one thing where Digimarcon stands out. I attended so many conferences in life, but this is on time.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
When if one person would talk longer, it would cut into the next one, which of course is not fair.
That's right.
And therefore, again, that's my role to ensure while we have a timer, but also to ensure and tell them in advance to feel if they have enough material, if they would like to go longer, that we can tweak it so that also it fits for the audience, because when it's 12, they're hungry.
Yes.
When it's 3:15, they're keen to have a kind of a bit of a networking break as well and have a coffee that we cater for them, because we do it for them.
And one thing that I've enjoyed just being in a booth and speaking to incredible exhibitors here, it's the quality of conversation in the room. It is just wonderful. It's, you know, I've learned so much just through being here and speaking to people like yourself, that it has been such a pleasure to be here. So thank you, Digimarcon, for putting this on and truly championing this conference. It's been absolutely incredible. Now, how do we contact you? What are the best touch points for people to get in contact with you if they want to learn a bit more about your book, or they might just want to reach out and say hello?
The easiest way is LinkedIn. I'm kind of living in the platform.
Yes.
So there's rarely an hour that I don't look at it.
Yes.
That's a habit which maybe not always the best one.
Yeah.
But on LinkedIn, my name is Gunnar Habitz, if you can spell that. So linkedin.com/in/GUNNARHABITZ.
Perfect.
Those who don't figure out that might remember that my book is called Happy Habits. You can Google and you find it.
Yes.
You can even ask ChatGPT or Gemini about that, and they would know. I've done the test.
That's fantastic.
I've done the test.
That's fantastic. Well, that's a great way. And then you also, if you want to get in touch, you can also go to Amazon, purchase the book, and then let him know what you thought of it.
That works.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I know you've got to get back up on stage, so we'll leave it there. And thank you all for watching on, everyone. It has been an absolute pleasure. I know the screen has gone a little bit dark there. However, the conversation has been fantastic. So thank you all for joining, and we will see you after lunch.
Thank you.
Bye.